Hello guys, how you doing today? It's Ranger Martin here again. It's Thursday, time for the Dinosaur Experience live for kids. It's a place, we've got a nice little community growing here of dinosaur loving people. So if you love dinosaurs, you're very, very welcome here. As always, I'm going to ask if you can do me a favor. If you can hear me at the moment, just give me a like or thumbs up as we go along. So that I can see that should come up on my screen. So lots of thumbs up. That does two things. Firstly, it lets me know that you can hear me and that we're actually going out okay. And secondly, it lets me know that, or it lets other people know that we're live and people can see us and that sort of thing. So already I've got a couple of hellos. I can see some people here. So it's really good to see you, Eric, from Pennsylvania. Thank you for watching, buddy. I appreciate you. It's good to have fellow dinosaur loving people here. And also, let's have a look. We've got Noah. Hey Noah, how you doing? It's really good to see you. Oh no, wrong one. Let me do this one. Here we go. That's the one I should have said. Hello Noah, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for watching. It's a pleasure, and I hope you learned something today. We're going to look today about time periods and how they work and when the dinosaurs were around and that sort of thing. So we like to, cover that sort of thing. So let's have a little look at what we're going to look at today, because it's a great show today. We've got a lot going on, got a lot to talk to you about. Let's have a look at some of the things we've got. So the first thing we're going to do, as we always do whilst we're getting people on, we're going to ask what the dinosaur is. We're going to show you. Actually, it's not a dinosaur today, so that's a clue. But we've got a creature we're going to show you, and I want you guys to try and guess what it might be. Then we're going to look at some dinosaur time periods and how it all works. Quite often you'll hear phrases like Jurassic or Cretaceous and those sort of things. And so what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at those today and work out what it actually means when people are saying those kind of words. Then we've got an interview with a very good friend of ours, Vanessa, who runs the Petite Princess Company. And the Dinosaur Experience and the Petite Princess Company and a couple of other companies we've got together. We're forming a mega group, if you like, to put on a great event in the summer, and we're going to tell you all about that in a little while. It's the Fairy Tale Festival in the summer, so stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss that, because we've got all the information, where you can get your tickets from, how much, where they're going to be, where the actual thing is, what date it is, and all that sort of thing. Then we're going to show you some public appearances. I've booked a few more where you can see us, and then at the end there we'll do all the shout outs. So guys, if you are watching now, and I can see we've got quite a few people watching, don't forget to type in the comments now. If you're watching us on YouTube, I should be able to see those. If you're watching us on Facebook, I should be able to see them. If you're watching on LinkedIn, it may not come up, and Twitter's the same. I may not be able to see those, but I will say hello to you later if I get a chance. So yeah, please do type in there, and also any questions you've got. One of the things I was thinking about the other day, somebody said to me, "Oh, Fridays are definitely the best day of the week." And I was like, "Really? Fridays? Why Fridays?" And I was thinking, I prefer Saturdays. So what do you think, guys? What's your favourite day of the week? Type it in the comments there. Let's have a little think about that. What's your favourite day of the week? A lot of people think about weekends, and other people, I kind of like Mondays because I get a lot done on Mondays. So what is your favourite day of the week? And we'll have a look, and we'll bring up some of those things there. Eric, let's have a look. Eric says hello. Let's bring up Eric from Jurassic Raptor in Pennsylvania. So if you're in the Pennsylvania area, guys, look up Jurassic Raptor. I'm sure he'll be able to help you out with any plans you may have for birthdays and that sort of thing. So thank you for watching, Eric. It's good to see you, buddy. All right, so let's move on. So this is going to be our first thing. We're going to guess the dinosaur, but as I gave you a clue earlier, it's not actually a dinosaur. Okay, this is actually a pterosaur. Hello, Rexy. Yes, yes. I don't know. Rexy's always got to poke his nose in. He's very nosy, and he likes to have a look around and make sure everyone's behaving themselves. So have a look at this. If you think you may know what animal it is, then let's put a comment in there, and we'll come back to it at the very end of the show. We'll give you a few more seconds at the end of the show, and we'll see if anybody can guess what animal this is. And as I've said before, it's not actually a dinosaur. This is an animal that was around at the same time as the dinosaurs. It will probably be in most dinosaur books, It's a kind of pterosaur, and just see if anybody can guess. So I'll be looking in the comments there as we go through the show. At the end of the show, we'll bring up some of your guesses and we'll see if anybody can get it right. All right, so let's move on. Let's have a look today at time periods. So let's bring this picture up here. And this is, I find this a really handy way of looking at time periods. So what I want you to do is imagine that you are actually at the very top up here. You're in this truck at the very top. Can you see that? And what I want you to imagine is you're going to dig down into the ground. Now, the further you dig down, you come across different layers. And each layer is named. So each layer is a period in time. So basically, the way that we judge time is through layers of dirt. So when you first start digging down, you're going to be in the Holocene period, in the Cenozoic age. And then as you get further and further down, you're going to start hitting different layers. Now, the areas that we're interested in are the Cretaceous, the Jurassic, and the Triassic. Now, obviously, the top layer there, the Cretaceous layer, that's the closest to today because it's near the top of the pile. And the Jurassic is under that, and Triassic is under that. They're the main three areas that we're interested in when we think about dinosaurs. Now, there were some prehistoric creatures before in the Permian period. There was definitely stuff there. And there obviously were more animals that survived after the Cretaceous period, after the main extinction period there. But that's what I want you to think about. When we're thinking about time periods, it's layers of dirt. So the further you dig down in the ground from here, you can see the further you dig down in the ground, the longer or the longer away it was. So we're at here, say the Triassic period. That was about 252 million years ago. Now here's a great thing about paleontology. When it comes to actually dating something, paleontologists aren't particularly accurate because they can't be. So they're like, yeah, give or take 9 or 10 million years, it was around about this time. Can you imagine if it was your birthday and somebody said to you, how old are you? How many birthdays have you had? Well, give or take 9 or 10 million years. I was born round about then. But unfortunately, that's about the best it can be. So let's have a look what that looks like in real time. So here I've got a picture of the Grand Canyon. Now, what you've got to imagine is, at one stage, this was a flat piece of ground. It's completely flat. And the river that's below me here, what's happened is that river, as it's flowed through, it's worn down the ground. And it's eroded all the rock until it gets deeper and deeper. Now, eroded means it's basically washed it away. It's ground it away over millions of years. Now, if we could go forward in time and go forward another 100 million years, this Grand Canyon here would probably be 10 or 20 times deeper. And I don't know if any of you have ever had the chance to visit the Grand Canyon, but it is absolutely breathtaking what nature can do. So this one river here has worn its way through the rock and worn it down. But what it does do, it gives us the absolutely brilliant opportunity to look at the layers of rock, and you can see them here. So as you're looking at the rocks, and let me bring up this image as well, and this is going to help us to understand it a bit more. So if you look at the rock face on the right there and our image on the left, it kind of makes it a bit more sense. You can see how the different layers in the rock are in contact with the draw in there. So the idea is if you're stood at the top of the rock and you dug down, I don't know, say 100 meters, you might hit the Cretaceous layer, and then the Jurassic layer, and then the Triassic layer. And that's basically how we judge how old something is how deep down in the ground it's buried. Now, there's obviously tests they do on the rocks and that sort of thing as well. And each layer, we know at certain times in history, certain things happened. So, for example, if there was a huge fire or a volcano eruption, there'll be a lot of ash on the ground, which would leave a dark layer on the soil, which would leave in the rock. You'd find that layer. So anything underneath that volcanic eruption would be a lighter coloured rock than the stuff on top of it for 100 years, say. So that's one of the ways that we can look at rock and understand how old it is. Now, the next image I've got here, so that's all well and good. So we understand now, if we're digging down from the top and we go down, say 100 meters, we're going to hit the Cretaceous period. But sometimes they find dinosaur fossils on the surface, don't they? So how does that work? He didn't die 10 years ago or 50 years ago or 100 years. He died, the last surviving dinosaurs died 66 million years ago. So how come they're on the top surface? How does that happen? Well, let's have a look at this image here. This is one of the ways that nature can play tricks on us. And what we've got here is a rock formation, but you can see that it's bent up into the air. So what's happened here is the Earth has got different layers. Basically, it sits on plates, and those plates move around, and then one day they brush against each other and nudge. And sometimes when they nudge like that, that's when you get an earthquake, because these plates hit each other and they move and jerk around, and you get an earthquake. That's what causes earthquakes and tidal waves, that sort of thing. But what's happened here is these two plates over millions of years have hit, and they've kept going forward and forward and forward and forward, and they've pushed up. So what's happened is the rock layers that were underneath have now been brought up to the surface. Okay, so Cretaceous time, Jurassic time, that sort of thing. They've been forced up onto the surface, and they'll fall out into the valleys. And that's why we find, or that's one of the best places to look when paleontologists are looking for fossils. They'll go to rocky formations like this and mountains, because they know that instead of having to dig down miles and miles into the earth to try and find the layer, if they come to a mountain like this, the layer's actually been pushed up to the surface. And they'll quite often find little fossils on the ground as they're walking around. And once they've found the little fossils, then they can look up to the actual mountain, and they can look for the layer they're looking for, and that's how they normally find fossils. So that's how we judge time, and it's how that we can understand how old something is. It's one of the ways that we use to find out how old something is. So talking about time periods, let's look at some of the creatures that were around in those time periods we're talking about. So the first one we're looking at is Triassic. And I've purposely used the word creatures here because those of you that were on last week, you know that we talked about what makes something a dinosaur. So here we're talking about creatures. And the reason that we're talking about creatures is because these guys aren't dinosaurs. And if you watched last week, you'll know why. Let me give you a little recap. One of the ways that we can tell if something's a dinosaur or not is how its legs are. If its legs are sprouting out from the side, like a lizard or an alligator, we know that it's not a dinosaur. It's like a reptile. It's one of the giveaways that lets us know what is and what isn't a dinosaur. Dinosaurs' legs come straight from their bodies, straight down to the ground, whether they're four-legged or two-legged. They don't come out the sides, they go straight down. So here we're looking at the Postosuchus and the Smilosuchus. So let's have a think about these two. So the Postosuchus, he grew up to about 16 foot long, and we know that he had a crushing bite. And his bite could crush through these enemies' defenses. One of the things he could do, use very strong jaws, and his bite would break through like bits of armor and scales. The Smilosuchus, he grew up to 15 foot long. Looks very much like an alligator or a crocodile, doesn't he? But the thing about this guy, his nostrils were actually at the back of his snout, not the front. Alligators and crocodiles have them at the front. These guys have them back here by their eyes, and similar to the way that we spoke about the other dinosaurs. So they're two creatures that were around in the Triassic period. Then we'll move forward a couple of 100 million years, and we're coming to the Jurassic period now. Two famous dinosaurs you may have heard of. We now have the Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus has come around. And then we have the Allosaurus. So the Stegosaurus, he lived about 165 to 144 million years ago. So he had a good innings. He lived for about 20 million years. And we know that his tail at the back there, one of the main things that makes him famous is those spikes on the back of his tail. Can anyone remember what we called those spikes on the back of his tail? we'll wait for a second. We'll move on and see if anybody writes the answer in the comments there. If you think you know what we call those spikes on the back of the Stegosaurus's tail, put it in the comments there and we'll see if anybody can guess. In the meanwhile, let's have a little look at Allosaurus. So the Allosaurus, he actually grew up to about 30 foot. And his arms were particularly longer than the T-Rex's arms. You see how long those T-Rex's arms are? Sorry, the Allosaurus's arms. T-Rex had very small arms. The other thing about the Allosaurus, he's got 3 fingers, and we've talked before. The T-Rex only has 2. So the Allosaurus here, and we know that he had those big arms and he used them to crush and grab his prey and hold them down. Probably very much like a modern bird. He would spike them with his claws, then hold them down with his feet, and then attack them with his jaws. So we've got a guess here. Varland Owens, thank you for guessing. You're saying, are they called the plates on the back of his tail? You're quite right. He has got plates on his back, but the spikes on his tail, that's actually called the thagomizer. And there's a really interesting story why it's called the thagomizer. A gentleman wrote a cartoon, and it was all about Stone Age man, and they were showing on a drawing a picture of a Stegosaurus, and they were saying, yeah, we've got somebody hit. Somebody just guessed it. I'm not sure. It just says, unfortunately, if you don't give us permission to see your name, it just says Facebook user. But thank you for joining in, and you are exactly right. It is the thagomizer. And as I was saying, there was a cartoon drawn. It was about cavemen talking about how Thag had been killed by this dinosaur, by a Stegosaurus, and he'd used his tail. And since then, paleontologists kind of took that on, and they started calling the tail the thagomizer, all after this cartoon, and that's how it got its name. And there are lots of interesting things like that. There's lots of interesting things within paleontology all about that. Oh, it's Emma. Hey, Emma. Thank you for watching. Let me bring up. Here we go. It says, let's say it says, it's Emma. We can't see you. Thank you for watching, Emma. I might have known you would know that. Emma's our resident expert. She watches every time, and she really knows her stuff. So good job, Emma. You are exactly right. All right, so let's look at our last time period we're going to look at today, the Cretaceous period. This is where most of the famous dinosaurs come in. This is where most of the dinosaurs that most people have heard of. So we've got 2 of probably the top 5 here. We have the Triceratops and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So Triceratops, we know he was herbivorous. And he's obviously one of the most well-known dinosaurs. He's got 3 horns. He has a parrot-like beak. And a huge frill around his neck. And Varland says that the Triceratops is one of her favorites. Oh, and that's so cool. Lots of people love the Triceratops. It's a really cool dinosaur. So you're not alone when you say that it's one of your favorites there. T-Rex is probably most people's favorite, that most people have heard of. He's the king of the dinosaurs. He gets that name for several reasons, but when we translate his name into English, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, it means tyrant, lizard, king. So he's a tyrant, which is an evil leader. Lizard is what they thought that the dinosaurs were originally when they first found them, and then king because he's so big and ferocious. The tyrant lizard king. And of course, as we know, they love chicken nuggets. Rexy, are you adjusting my notes here, Rexy? Sorry, they don't love chicken nuggets. That's something that Rexy added to my notes here. Yes, we can see you. As you know, Rexy has a thing for chicken nuggets. All right, so that's about time periods and all about that sort of thing. So you've got to understand, hopefully, a little bit about what time periods are and how they work. Now, I've got something really exciting for you, something that's really special, something we've been working on for the last couple of months. So let me show you this. All right, guys, so if you've been watching social media lately, you'll see we've got something very special coming up in the summer, a really exciting event that we've been putting together for a few months. And today, to tell us all about it, I've invited a very special guest along, Vanessa, from the Petite Princess Company. So let's say hello to Vanessa.
Hey, Martin, thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you for coming. It's very special to have you here. And I must say, um, when I first started my business, I looked around at other companies and I was like, who do I want to be like? Who's doing good? Who's doing bad? And your company was one of the ones I was like, yeah, when I grow up, that's who I want to be. So,
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're flattered.
so I'm really excited to be working with you on this. So, but before we get going, let's tell the people watching who you are, what you are, and what the Petite Princess Company is.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me on. The Petite Princess Company, we are currently Louisiana's largest children's entertainment company that specializes in fairy tale characters. Princesses, princes, seasonal characters, Peter Rabbit, elves. We have it all. We have over 40 different characters on our roster right now. All of our cast members are professionally trained performers, whether it's voice, they've been in theater for years. And then we also do extensive training in makeup, costuming. We buy very high end theater grade costumes. We have all professional wigs. So you're getting a very authentic character experience that would be on par with any major theme park and characters that you would visit there. We do in home birthday parties. That's our bread and butter, so to speak. Every weekend, we have about a dozen characters that will go out and do private birthday parties. We come to your home or facility with any character you like. We even have swimming mermaids during the summer that will swim in your pool with your children. And then, of course, we also have large scale events throughout the year. The biggest, of course, the Princess Ball that you see going on here. This is our Royal Princess Ball. We have annually at the Old State Capitol in Baton Rouge, which looks like a castle. I've had so many moms tell me that they think our princesses live in the castle, so we love that. But it's really a magical experience. You can come and dance with the all the princesses. You can see them perform, have a nice meal. So that's we do that every summer. We also do holiday teas at the old governor's mansion every Sunday in December leading up to Christmas. And we have villains dining at Halloween. We have a Mardi Gras children's ball. So pretty much every other month we have a large event, and we're so excited now to bring the Fairy Tale Festival, which is our brand new event and the first one that we're collaborating with other community partners like yourself, other professional entertainers that will be working with us on this.
Excellent. That's so cool. Well, let me tell you a little about us. So, the Dinosaur Experience, as far as we know, we're the only company in Louisiana that brings dinosaurs to you. We bring them to schools and libraries and summer camps and birthday parties. And we travel all over Louisiana and outside of state as well. We're very busy throughout the summer months. We go to Mississippi and Alabama and all over the place, bringing our mischievous dinosaurs. And the guys that watch this channel on our weekly shows talking about dinosaurs will know how Rexy and Nash can be a bit of a handful sometimes. But that's pretty much what we do. And we come to schools and libraries, like I said, birthday parties, lots and lots of fun. So that's another group of people that you've got a chance to come and see at the camp. And then we've got two more. We've got these guys here.
Yes. Yes. So Trixie the Clown, funwithtrixie.com. She is a seasoned clown performer and face painter, balloon artist. She has so many wonderful talents. You can catch her at a lot of local venues, restaurants, that sort of thing. She does family nights. Kids love her. And then, of course, our Spider Man from Capital Superheroes. He's newer on the scene, but I have seen him do the coolest tricks, flips, and stunts. So I think he's really going to be a hit with the kids.
Excellent, and that's something that's very needed in this area is like a superhero type business, and
Absolutely.
that's why we're excited to work with him, and hopefully he can come along and entertain the kids and give them all a great time. So they're the four companies that are joining together to become the mega force that's going to be the Fairy Tale Festival. Well, first one, hopefully of several, but we'll see how we go with this one. And we were all really excited to work about it. So let's have a little talk about the Fairy Festival and what it actually is.
Yes. So it is a 2-day event. It is at the Crown Plaza in Baton Rouge in the Imperial Ballroom. We're going to have 3 sessions on each day. The reason we're having so many sessions is because we cap it at about 75 children per session. That way, they have the optimum experience to be able to see all of the characters. It breaks out to about 5 or 6 children per station at a time. So they have time to get their pictures, get their autographs, and they get a special prize at each character station. At the end of the scavenger hunt, so to speak, it's kind of going to be set up like a little quest, a scavenger hunt. They will win a book. Our generous sponsors, of which we have several, have donated money for us to be able to buy a book for each child because we feel like reading is essential for children to fall in love with fairy tales and our characters. So that was really something we wanted to promote with summer reading at this festival. So again, it's capped at 75 children. They're going to have all sorts of activities to do there, as well as your dinosaurs are going to be having a show. We'll also have a sing along with the princesses as well. So it's going to be lots of fun activities.
Excellent. So basically, the start of the thing is we have a couple of shows. We have the princesses show and the dinosaur show, and then the children get to go to wherever they want to meet any of the princesses, our dinosaurs. They can meet Spider-Man, they can meet Trixie the clown, and they can do whatever they want to in that time. But there's like a scavenger hunt as well. Is that right?
Right, right. They'll get to
Excellent.
go around and kind of check off everything on the map, make sure that they get their prize at each station, and then the grand finale they get to pick up their book.
Excellent. And it's on Saturday, July 8th and Sunday, July 9th. And how many shows were there each day?
There's 3 shows per day, so it's going to be 10 to 11:30, 12 to 1:30, and 2 to 3:30. That'll be the 3 sessions each day.
Excellent. All right. And we mentioned the Crown Plaza where it's going to be. And here we have a little picture here of what the Crown Plaza looks like. Um, and so we can see there. Yes, Rexy, we can see you. Yes, yes, we can.
Hey, Rexy.
He has to poke his nose in occasionally and have
I
a look
love
around
it.
it.
He's so
And
curious.
and to help us put this on, we've been very welcome to be sponsored with this event. Did you want to tell us something about the sponsorships?
Yes, absolutely. We are so honored and humbled that we've had so many community partners and businesses sign on to a brand new event. So that's a lot of trust that you're putting in people. But I feel like our businesses have such a phenomenal reputation and brand with the families in our community that it's sort of a no brainer to partner with us. So we want to thank all of our sponsors: 225 Magazine, Baton Rouge Family Fun, Digital Engineering and Imagery, Resolute Fitness, Walt Disney World Getaways with Mandy Dyer, Two Batches Cookies, Magnolia Pet Sitting Services, the Baton Rouge Cardiology Center, For the Love of Dance Studios, and Borderline Electric. Thank you sincerely for trusting us and for signing on and giving us the opportunity to get these special prizes and books for the children.
Excellent. And thank you so much, you sponsors. Are sponsorships still available?
Yes, yes, you can actually still sign on for sponsorships. We have several different levels that are on our website at thefairytalefestival.com.
Excellent. So if you are a business out there that is looking to appeal to families, etc., around this area, around the Baton Rouge area, this is going to be the event. This is the biggest
The
event of
event
the
of the
summer.
summer, yes.
The biggest event of the summer. It's got all the best children's entertainers. We think these tickets are going to be very hot. They're going to be Taylor Swift level. That's what we're thinking. So
Right.
don't miss out on this opportunity. Don't miss out. Uh,
Absolutely. Yes. We definitely have had a reputation in the past of our tickets selling out so quickly. For instance, the Royal Ball, generally these sell out in about 2 minutes flat. We try to tell people you really need to be logged on several minutes before, keep refreshing your page. So that way, when the link comes up, you can buy, because people will get on 20 minutes later and be like, oh my gosh, I missed the sale, because it really does go that fast.
Yeah, I can believe it. I've seen when you do your events, your big events. You say tickets on sale now, and then 20 minutes later, sold out.
It's sold
Wow,
out.
that's
Right.
crazy. Now, talking about that, let's talk about the actual ticket sales, where people can find where to get the information from.
Right. So we're going to have it in two different places. We're going to have tickets posted on the website. This is the first event that we actually have a whole separate website for. So the fairytalefestival.com. But then also on the Petite Princess Company Facebook page, we post a live link there. So at noon on both of those pages, the link will become live. You can click on it and purchase the ticket you want. Make sure to get the correct session, and also there's a breakdown between adult tickets and child tickets. They're different prices, so make sure that you're buying the correct one.
It's always the way, isn't it? No matter what
Oh
you're
yeah,
doing, someone always call. They're like, "Oh, she's on there now.
right,
Let's call."
right, of course. And it's usually a spammer.
Yes. Okay, so they're the places to get the tickets. So at Friday, tomorrow, that's the
Yes.
31st of March, at midday, 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Refresh
So
your
on your lunch
page.
break, set your alarm for your lunch break.
Yeah, when that link comes up, hit the link and start buying because if you wait 20, 30 minutes, an hour later, there may not be any. So make sure you don't be that unfortunate position.
That's
So if people don't get tickets, what's the scenario there? What can we do?
Okay, so first of all, don't fret. We do occasionally have extra tickets that become available once we do our final counts. The best thing you can do is to immediately get into our VIP group. You can sign up now, it's free. This is our VIP group, the Petite Princess Company VIP group. And after the sale is done, we will post a wait list in there, and you join the wait list. You comment how many tickets you need, what session, what date you would like. When those tickets become available, we go down the list. Also, closer to the event, you will have people that fall ill or decide that they're traveling and they need to sell their tickets. They will almost always come directly to this list to try to sell their tickets or make a post within the group. So if you are really dedicated, you can usually manage to get tickets for our events, but you have to
That
stay on top of it. And the group is the best place to be to do that.
that's good news. And while we're on that point, I think it's worth mentioning that we do have these guys around, unfortunately.
Yes,
I know.
unfortunately, the scammers come out. I think the bots read sold out. I've determined that that's what brings them to our page. Anytime you say tickets sold out, immediately you'll have scammers that will come and start saying they have tickets for sale. But here's the thing: nobody sells tickets the day they buy them because that makes no sense.
Sure.
So if you see somebody trying to sell tickets tomorrow or a week from now, even, it's most likely not a legitimate ticket. We try to catch those people as soon as they come on the page and block them and delete the comments. Unfortunately, sometimes they're too fast for us right after a sale. We just ask that you always check with us so we can determine, hey, yes, these are legitimate tickets, or no, this is a scammer. Do not waste your money.
Yeah, I know. I've already had, I put a post up on my Facebook page saying you were doing this event, tickets going on sale Friday. Somebody
Right,
came on there and said, "Hey, it's been an accident. My wife bought tickets and I bought tickets at the same time, so I've
right,
got four spares. If anybody wants them, get in touch." I was like, "They're not even on sale yet. They're not
right,
even on
right,
sale yet."
right.
And so, like obviously I banned that person and kicked them out. But just be aware, guys, that if somebody is on there trying to sell you a ticket, they may not be legitimate. And always check with the VIP Princess Facebook page there that they are legitimate people. They are selling, and don't send anybody any money over
Right.
through that sort of thing because they will be there. We'll work as fast as we can to kick them out, but they're gonna be there. So just be aware of that.
Absolutely. And that's why we handle a lot of the resales in the VIP group, because we're able to monitor the scammers a lot better and keep them out, and have that communication kind of away from the public page. So it has helped with that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's excellent. Thank you for letting us know all about the show. I must say we're very excited here at the Dinosaur
Yes,
Experience.
yes. We are super excited for this
Excellent.
event.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And don't forget, guys, set your alarms. Friday,
Yes,
31st of March, 12
noon
o'clock.
noon
Not 5 minutes
tomorrow.
past, 12 o'clock.
That's right. Keep refreshing your page until that link comes up. Thank
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Vanessa, and we'll be
you,
speaking
Gordon.
very, very soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So, how cool is that? I think that's just absolutely amazing. Let me stress to you guys how kind of important that is for us. You've got major players in children's entertainment coming together. Never been done before in this area. We're coming together and we're putting on a fantastic show for all you kids out there. Anybody who's got younger brothers, younger sisters, we've got something for all of you. You're all going to have a great time. You're going to love it. But please, please, if you do want tickets, don't miss that deadline because I'm not joking. At 12 o'clock they'll be on sale. Probably by 20 past they'll all be gone. Maybe even before that. Sometimes these things sell out really, really quickly. So if you do want tickets, make sure you're on there at 12 o'clock and keep refreshing the page until the link appears. That's a little trick for you. All right. So looking forward to that. Can't wait. Now, let me tell you a little bit about some other public events that we have going here at the Dinosaur Experience and where you can find out where they are. So let me bring this up. This is our web page here, the Dinosaur Experience. If you're wanting to find out where you can come and see us, now these are public events, not private ones. So these are the public events. So you go to more, you click on where it says more, and then you come down to public events, click on that. It'll bring up all our public events, places you can come and see us. 90% of these are free. There are a few paid jobs. This is the 2023. I haven't put 24 or 25 up. So where are we? We are at the end of March now. So here we are. So this weekend, 1st of April, we're going to be at the Loose Caboose Festival in Newton, Mississippi. So if you're living in the Mississippi area, you want to come and see some dinosaurs, we're going to be there. That's going to be our 3rd year of attending that great day out there at the Loose Caboose Festival. And then over Easter, we're going to be in Shreveport. We're hitting all the Shreveport libraries for the whole of Easter. We've got some in the morning, some in the afternoon. So Shreveport area, come and see the Dinosaur Experience. We'd love to see you. Let me spring through all this. April, this is a good one if you live in Denham Springs, which is near where we live. We're doing the Antique Village there, the Dinosaur Experience. We'll be putting on shows throughout the day. Magnolia Blossom in Arkansas. Let's come right down to July now. So here we are. The day before the Fairy Tale Festival, we're in Mississippi. But July 8th and 9th, Fairy Tale Festival. If you're looking for that link, you can't remember what it is, come to our website, see where it says details here, hit that button, and it will bring you to the Fairy Tale Festival website. This is where the link will appear on this website here. So if you can't find it, come to the Dinosaur Experience and you'll find the link to come to this website. They won't be sold on our website. It's going to be on this website here. So that's a good place to look for it. I want to show you this. This is our YouTube page. We're live on this at the moment. Let me just refresh that. So we are live on our YouTube page. We're also live on our LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. We're live at the moment. And so if please do come and join the YouTube page. It means a lot to us. We've got 435 subscribers now. That's good. That was up from about 430 last week, I think. We've got some great stuff on here. I would suggest you watch this this video. This is our most popular with 108,000 or 106,000. This is my favorite, where we teach Rexy all about the T-Rex and he misbehaves. Just they're 2 of my favorite videos. And then we've got all our live shows here. If we click on live, these are all our live shows that we've done over the years. So that's a good place to come, but please do come and subscribe. And we're talking about subscribing. Let me let this beast through. Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube, our Facebook, and wherever you see us, please do come and say hello. Talking about Facebook, here's our Facebook page. You can find us here. We've got about 11,000 followers. And this is the Dinosaur Experience for Kids, okay? Dinosaur Experience for Kids. This is a group you can join. And we like people to post on here about any trips they've been on, any dinosaur toys, pictures, drawings that you've done, anything like that. That you know you can put on here, and because it's a group, we'll be able to see it and we'll be able to put it up there. And it's a safe place for you guys to come, put your stuff on there. Parents, everything is modded, so nothing gets on here that we don't want it to be. There's no spam, there's no bad stuff on here. So that's the Dinosaur Experience for Kids Facebook group. Okay, so let's go back to this guy, the dinosaur of the day, although, as we've said, it's not actually a dinosaur. I'll give you a few minutes on this guy, see if anybody can tell us what kind of animal this is. What kind of animal do we think that this is? Hmm. What do you think, Rexy? Hmm? What do you think this might be? I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows. Let's see if anybody out there knows. We'll give you a few minutes on this. And by the way, guys, thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts. It really means a lot to us. I can see we've got lots of thumbs up, lots of hearts, and we've even got some laughs on there. So that's always good. Oh, okay. So we have a guess here. I'm presuming from Emma. She's saying a quetzal, as in a quetzalcoatlus, I believe. It's not actually. It's kind of difficult because the scaling isn't here. So I can understand why you would say it's. Yeah. Let me bring this up. You're saying that you can't spell it, and I don't blame you because quetzalcoatlus is a difficult one to spell. It's a Q dino. It's actually a pterosaur, and it's a pteranodon. This guy's a pteranodon, and it's a bit unfair because I didn't give you the scale with it. But yeah, this guy is our pteranodon dinosaur. Perhaps next time I'll put a scale with it, and it'll give you a bit more chance. And it's always hard to say what kind of dinosaurs are because nobody's ever actually seen them for real. We've only ever had best guesses of what they actually look like. All right, so let's go through the list of everybody that's on here. I want to make sure we haven't missed anyone. So let's say hello to Eric. Hello, Eric, there from Pennsylvania. We've got Noah. Hello, Noah. Good to see you. Jennifer there. Jennifer, hello. Eric. I think we said hello to Eric already. Eric likes Wednesdays. That's interesting, Eric. I don't know why Wednesday would be a good day. I kind of like Mondays, and then of course the weekends. But Wednesdays, okay. Varland Owens, I believe you're probably one of the princesses, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Queen there, speaking to everybody. Who else have we got? Camille Broussard, thank you for watching. Cheryl Reynolds Lawrence. Oh, that's Emma's grandparents, I believe. So thank you again for watching there. All right, I think that's everybody. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We probably will do another show next Thursday at the same time. If you think about a dinosaur you may want to see, let us know. Just give us a shout out, put it in the notes, and we would love to have a think about that dinosaur. Or maybe we'll do something, perhaps we'll do a group of dinosaurs together. I don't know. I'll have a think about it, and we'll come back and we'll do something interesting next Thursday. I'll tell you what we will do next Thursday. I'm going to tell you all about Jurassic World show that's coming to Houston, not too far away from us. And I'm going to tell you all about that because I bought my tickets this week. So I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be going to Houston to see that show. But until next week, thank you so much for watching. Final reminder, tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon, go to the website that we talked about earlier. You'll be able to get your tickets there for the big event in the summer. 3 shows on Saturday, 3 shows on Sunday. Don't delay. If you want to come, please do be there at 12 o'clock. Otherwise, you may miss out. All right, guys, thank you so much. Lovely to see you, and we really appreciate you being here. Until next time, Rangers, bye-bye.